How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today with a very special video of my top 10 anime of 2024. That's right, I'm ranking the top 10 best anime in my opinion that I watched in 2024. And before I begin, I just want to give you guys a couple of disclaimers. I'm not going to account for any anime that came out in the year 2023 and continue onward to 2024. Some examples would be like Apothecary Diaries and Freerun would not qualify because technically they aired in 2023, so they would not be able to be eligible for this top 10 of mine. So as much as I love Freerun, she's not able to make it in because of that, criteria. Same thing with Apothecary Diaries, and One Piece, not counting it neither because it's an ongoing anime. So I'm just solely basing this list on top 10 animes that came out this particular year. Also, I'm not including movies. I'm just talking about anime series. And for spoilers, if I was ranking movies, then Look Back would have been my number one. Just for anybody wondering, I love that movie, but sadly, it's not in this list neither. So, like I said, let's rephrase once again. I'm only counting animes that came out in 2024 or animes that took a break and came back in 2024. And I'll get to those later in my list as I continue. But yeah, with all those disclaimers and everything, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to this list. And before I start, there were so many animes I couldn't fit into the top 10. So here's a quick honorable mentions of some animes that didn't make the cut, but I wanted to bring them up and talk about them with you guys and discuss them and tell you guys if they're great or not. And for starters, I want to talk about Solo Leveling. It's a show I really enjoyed. Didn't make the list because I just think the other 10 were better. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was very jam-packed, very action-based, but I felt like, it was missing that humph when it comes to the emotional moment, which I'm a big emotional moment kind of person. And I think that as much as I liked it, it's a great show. I did not, put it in my top 10, sadly. And continuing from there on, there's also another show that I actually really did enjoy. I thought it was a great season, but sadly couldn't make the cut because my own bias towards its ending in the manga, and that show would be Oshinoko Season 2. If you guys have my reviews for Oshinoko Season 2, I really enjoyed the season. I thought it was great. I thought it was actually better than Season 1. And I thought it did a great job pretty much, developing the story going forward and just, elevating the source material to newer heights. However, sadly, as all things, come to an end, the manga eventually ended. And then, I pulled the gun and I did read the manga, and the ending for the manga was atrocious. And it also reflected my enjoyability in this season, because now I'm just thinking to myself, like, it was all a waste of time, like in the back of my head. And it sucks because I know for many of you guys are going to be like, oh, it's not fair. You should judge it just for its own merit and, for the season. But, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. I just think, I can't, in goodwill lie to you guys and be like, yeah, I'm going to rewatch this season going forward in my life. Because I don't think I'll ever rewatch this, period. So sadly, it's an honorable / dishonorable mention. And another series that, it was also as an honorable mention would be Bleach. Now, here's the disclaimer. I did not put Bleach in this list solely because, and hear me out, I haven't even watched it. So hear me out before you start cooking me in the comment section. So I watched Bleach in dub. I watched it in both, but I just been caught up doing, many things. It's the holiday season. I just been going out a lot, traveling a lot. So I haven't really had the chance to sit down and watch it. And I was planning on watching it like maybe New Year's Eve or so not New Year's Eve, but like, maybe a little bit past the year's over or sometime when I have, free time, but I haven't had the chance yet. So I haven't really caught up with the show. So I was also waiting for the dub. So I'm not stressing about it. So that's the main reason why I wasn't able to watch it. And, because like I said, I know you guys are going to start cooking me, be like, why didn't you watch it, man? Like, you should have watched it. And yeah, I know I should have watched it, but what can I say? What can I say? I know it's going to be great. I know it would have probably made it to my top 10, but it is what it is, man. I didn't watch it, and now I'm facing the consequences, because now I'm just like, yeah, I didn't watch it, and I look like a fool. And pretty much the last one that I wanted to bring up as an honorable mention, it's a series that I enjoyed. I thought it was a good series, but was it good enough to make it to my top 10? I personally didn't think so. and that series would be Magic and Muscle Season 2, which, if you guys saw my reviews for the show, I enjoy this show. This show is really fun. I have a blast watching this show. This show just makes me happy. But sadly, there's just so much competition that came out this year, so it did not make it to my list. And for a full disclaimer, if you guys want to know the placings in this, is obviously I would put Oshinoko at 13 in this honorable mentions, because I don't consider Bleach. Bleach is just there, just so you guys know why I didn't put it in my list. All right. But I would put Oshinoko 13, and then like number 12, Solo Leveling, and then 11, Masho, in my own personal taste. But yeah, that's my rankings for the honorable mentions. Now with all that, let's get to the main event. Let's talk about the top 10. So for starters, we're gonna start with a big heavy hitter, and I'm sure that I'm gonna start getting some hate right off the get-go for having it this low in the list. But hey, I gotta stick with my guns, and here's my take. So for number 10, I have Dandadan. Now hear me out. I really like Dandadan. I think it's a fun show. I really enjoy it. I think it's a great new gen series, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I watch it every week, and it's always a blast. Always makes me laugh. The guy that made it is one of Fujimoto's assistants from back in the day, so I knew it was gonna be great just because all of Fujimoto's assistants have grown to become fantastic mangakas in the future. Like the guy that made Spy X Family, the Hell's Paradise guy, the Dandadan, and the list goes on and on. So it's been great. However, I think that at this point in the story, I don't think it was worth me ranking higher in my list, because hear me out. I enjoy the first season, but I feel like I wanted more. I want more, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But I think that the other 9 that outshined it, I think they did stuff more that made me be more engaged with the show. / I had much more fun with it. Which, by the way, like I said, I really enjoyed Dandadan. I like it a lot, and I can't wait for July for the second season. But yeah, so that was why the main reason that Dandadan ranked in my number 10. But continuing with number 9, it's a show that I really, really enjoyed. Many of my viewers kept recommending this show to me from my Dress Up Darling chapter reviews. They kept commenting about like, you should check out this show. I think you should like it. And I did check it out, and you guys were right. I love this show. I thought this show was phenomenal, and that show happens to be Alia sometimes communicates her feelings in Russian. I think that's the name. I could be butchering it. But this show is great. I love this show, and particularly I love the dub. I know some dub versus sub haters out there, but listen, I don't care. The dub for this show is hilarious, man. I love this dub. This dub made me crack up, and I was watching this show with my girlfriend, just as a heads up, and both of us kept laughing. Like, we were just like, oh my god, did they just say that? The dialogue they choose for some of the scenes is hysterical, and I love the performances. I think everybody did a great job. It's the chick that does Yuki does a fantastic job, Alia as well, Masachika. The main trio of the show, they absolutely killed it when it comes to the dub, and the humor is great. The premise is great. I'm a huge slice of life enjoyer. If you guys seen, obviously I review My Dress Up Darling, and I just love if you're a good slice of life anime, you're automatically gonna be in my top 10 in some regard. And this one I think did a great job, and I'm very excited for season 2 because it got announced after season 1 ended. So, and I think that the thing that edged it out over Dandadan is because I actually like the chemistry, and I like the chemistry in Dandadan between Ayase and Okaru. I like their chemistry, but I really like Alia and Masachika. I think they're super adorable, so it edged them a little bit. So that's why I put them above. I put Alia over Dandadan. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, definitely recommend it and watch it in dub. It's really, really funny. And continuing on from the list, talking about more funny shows. This show, and for number 8, is a show that it's the 3rd season of a show I really enjoyed, which was Konosuba. So Konosuba finally aired its 3rd season for it feels like forever. After the movie came out, and finally we get a 3rd season, and the season was fantastic. And I'll tell you why. This season focused on my best girl, Darkness. I love Darkness. She's my favorite of the 3. And the humor is, top notch as always. Konosuba, the humor in Konosuba for me has always been, like 10 out of 10. I love this type of humor. I love like the extra, like the silliness of it all, and I just think they did an absolutely great job with the humor in this season. I tell a lot of my friends, like, for me, Konosuba is similar to like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia of anime. Because you gotta think about it, like, once you break it down, the characters are similar to some regard. Kazuma could be like Dennis, Aqua could be like D, Darkness could be like Mac, Charlie could be Megumi. Like, there's so many, like, I might be a mad lad for thinking all of this, but every time I watch Konosuba, I'm just thinking to myself, like, the gang goes to somewhere. Like, I don't know, man. I think they're 1-to-1. But yeah, what else can I say? I mean, Konosuba always slaps, always been consistent, at least for me. And I love the hijinks, and I can't wait for, the OVAs that are coming out next year. I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna watch them. I love this series and I love this show. I have some Konosuba figures. You never see them because they're behind me, but I love the show. I love it very, very much, and I can't wait to see more of the series going forward. And continuing on for my number 7. Number 7 is a show that I know many people probably didn't watch, but I will tell you guys that you guys should definitely check it out. It's a show that is really, really fun. It's really, really cool in the premise of its story, and that show would be Go Loser Ranger. I think that's the name, or Go Loser Ranger. I think that's the name of the show. This show is awesome. This show is similar to The Boys, and I've seen that comparison quite often being thrown at this show, and it kind of is. I mean, they're trying to. The premise of the show is this guy, he's one of the, like one of the fodder minions of like the Power Rangers villains, like a putty. I think that's what they're called. Not in the show, but in the Power Rangers, they're called putties. Picture like a stormtrooper, infiltrating like the Jedi temple, trying to kill all the Jedi, because that's his purpose. That's similar to what the basis of the show is, and there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of politics in the world of superheroing. It kind of like really shows how never meet your heroes, because these heroes are douches. In this world, they're all monsters. So that's why I see a lot of like takeaways like The Boys. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I think Red Ranger, terrifying villain. He's such a jerk. I love it though. I love it. He's not Homelander level where he's goated, but he does a pretty good serviceable job to be the antagonist, the main antagonist of this show. And I just think the characters are great. The world building is great. Even the side characters, they're all really fleshed out. I think the whole show is very fleshed out, and I'm very excited to see season 2, whenever it comes out, as well as the outro and the intro for this show are fire. I love it, especially the outro where the dance number, peak fiction. But yeah, number 7 is Go Loser Ranger. So definitely check it out. And for number 6, didn't make my top 5. However, it was very, very close, a very, very slim margin. The other one beat it. But for my number 6 is ReZero Season 3. And this season was fire from the very get-go. Like, literally, I think episode 2. I think at the end of episode 1, you're like, oh, what's going on? I won't spoil really anything. But all I'll say is that this season has been chef's kiss. It's been like, fire after fire, banger after banger. Each episode has been like what are they gonna do? How are they gonna defeat these the witches cultists? And we see that all these dangers approaching Subaru and the crew. And this feels like, to me, like the Infinity War of ReZero, because it seems like all the big players are here and they're fighting like the villains, and it seems like a battle royale, and all for all war is ensuing in the world of ReZero that has very big ramifications going forward. And I can't wait to see how the story picks up later on, because like I said, I've been enjoying this season, and this season has just been action and even great character development of Subaru, as well as characters like the main cast. And I'm just very, very happy that this season has been fire, and I can't wait to whenever it comes back for its second core. I'm gonna be there watching it, because they left it on a cliffhanger, which I won't say anything, but that cliffhanger was awesome, and I can't wait to see how the story plays out from there. And finally, we get to the top 5. The top 5 to me are, I knew these were going to be the top 5. ReZero was the only time when I was thinking maybe I can make it to my top 5, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, because my top 5, my number 5th spot is one that solidified itself the second it came out. And I watched it all, and it was continuously came out throughout the year, and it was 24 episodes of just, to me, absolute greatness. And that show was the Wise Wolf meets the Merchant / Spice and Wolf 2024. This is the reboot that we all Spice and Wolf fans have been wanting for like a decade plus, and we finally got it. And I'm happy to say that in my opinion, it was perfection. I thought it was lovely. I absolutely love seeing Holo and Lawrence once again. Their dynamics, and for full disclaimer, I saw this show in sub and dub. That's how much I liked it. When I was doing my reviews, I obviously was watching it in sub, but then when the dub would come out, I was watching it with my girlfriend, and as because the dub is S tier. I love that the dub. The original dub is one of the greatest dubs of all time, in my opinion, because it has J. Michael Tatum as the voice of Lawrence, and Brianna Palancia as Holo. I think they did a fantastic job, and it's so crazy hearing them again, because you're like, wow, they've only gotten better. So when they reprise the role, it's like natural, and it's even better than the first time. So I love this show, and I love how it adapted more stuff from the light novels that was cut out because, you know, the original anime ended abruptly. But I'm just glad that, you know, this new iteration continues on, especially, you know, where we got confirmed with a season 2, and I can't wait to see where the story goes from here because I love Lawrence, I love, you know, Holo, and I can't wait to see more of their mischievous adventures in the future. But yeah, that's my number 5 for 2024. Now, entering number 4 is a show that I know many people, you know, they might have been like, what? Why is it only 4? And I'll tell you why exactly this show was only number 4. And this show is Delicious in Dungeon. Now, hear me out. I love this show. This show was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. It's actually one of my favorite new gen animes I've seen in a very long time. The world building is fantastic. The characters are so great. Ilios is a great MC. So is Marcel. You know, Senshi, my goat. You know, I love these cast of characters. And it's just a show that you put on and, you know, you'll have a good time. You're going to have a smile from beginning to end. And I love this show. However, you know, as it left off in a cliffhanger and I was like, no, I want more. And so the story really didn't complete. However, there was a lot of great moments, a lot of beautiful emotional moments in this show, and I love it. I think this show is fantastic. If you want a new anime to watch, definitely watch this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I also watched it in dub, just a heads up. And for a fun fact, anybody that doesn't know this, the voice actress of Marcel in the dub is actually, what's her name? Emily Rudd, I think that's her name. She's the actress of Nami in the One Piece live action. So that's cool. That was her debut as a BA, and I think she did a fantastic job. But everybody did a fantastic job in the dub. I think the dub was a great dub. So, yeah, Delicious in the Dungeons, number 4. Really great show. Had a blast. And, yeah, what else is there to say? Now we get into the top 3. These 3 shows were just gas, in my opinion. They were just fire, fire, fire. And starting it off, my number 3 would be My Hero Academia Season 7. This season was awesome. And this goes to show the longevity of My Hero, where you see a season 7, so many people had already like counted out My Hero, like, oh, it's falling off the deep end, you know, it fell off, this and this and that. And as soon as season 7 was coming out and it's airing, and even till the point that it ended, many people were like, hey, anybody that dropped My Hero, you might want to reconsider picking it up, because this is like arguably the best content in the entire show. And I'm in that notion. I think that season 7 is the best. I think My Hero season 7 has been the peak of the story up to this point. The stuff we got with Endeavor was phenomenal. The thing with Dabi, Todoroki, great character writing. You know, the stuff with you know, Bakugo, which I won't spoil anything, but the stuff we got with Bakugo as well as Shigaraki and Lemillion, and just the cast goes on and on. It was just very awesome. I thought this season was, you know, 10 out of 10, and I can't wait for the final conclusion, which should come out next year, the final season of My Hero, which will be a sad day because I really enjoy this show. And it's going to make me sad seeing it go, because I really, really love this show. And I'm going to be really sad when it goes away. But at least we had this season, and this season was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for, like I said, the final season. And finally, for the runner-up place, for my second place of the best anime of 2024 would be Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Core 2, which is the second half of Mushoku Tensei Season 2. And I know some people were like, oh, but season 2 came out last year. Yeah, but they took a break. They took like a very 6-month break, and they came back. Like that's why it fit in my criteria. So hence why this season made it in, and I really enjoyed it. Whether it was Paul, you know, the drama between you know, Rudius and you know, his family, everything. I think I love Mushoku Tensei because it's a story about, you know, redemption. You know, Rudius redeeming himself from the person that he used to be to, you know, becoming a better person. I love the world building. I love the characters. You know, I love just Mushoku Tensei. I love the story. I think it's one of the better, if not, I won't even say it's one of the better. I think definitively, in my opinion, it's the best isekai without a question, because it really is. I mean, I think that this story is great. The animation's fantastic. The world building is phenomenal, second to none. The writing between Rudius and, you know, his sister is really, really good. And just Paul, my goat. That's all I'll say. Anybody that's seen Mushoku Tensei Season 2, all you gotta know is Paul, the goat. That's my goat. All right. But yeah, I think Mushoku Tensei was fantastic. And if you guys haven't seen Mushoku Tensei, aka Jobless Reincarnation, that's what it's called in the dub, definitely check it out. I suggest a sub because I watched the dub. I wasn't a fan of it, but yeah, definitely watch it and you'll enjoy it. And yeah, now without any further ado, the number one pick for me of 2024, as much as I said there was so many great animes, this was the one that when I finished watching it I was like, yep, this is number one. Nothing will come close to it, because I saw the lineup of what was coming out after it aired and I was like, yeah, nothing's beating this. This is definitely for sure going to be my number one. And it was at the end of the day. And that number one was Nier Automata version 1.1, which is the anime adaptation of the Nier Automata games. This is the second half of the show. So this is Core 2. Originally Nier Automata aired, like, I think, was it 2022 maybe, or 2023 early, whatever the case is. The new season came out just a few months ago, and this was phenomenal. This was cinema, as Martin Scorsese says. I went like this. When I finished the show, I was bawling, man. This show had me crying like at least 5 times. Like, and the funniest part is, I think it was an episode, and then the next week's episode I was crying again. I was like, man, why are they doing this to us, man? What is this mad genius thinking about? Why is he cooking so much? And I think that the ending to the story was absolutely, emotional, very beautiful, to say the least, because it was something that I myself, as somebody that knew the Nier ending, because I had seen the cutscenes for the game. I never played the actual game, but I saw like cutscenes of it years ago, and I knew the story, and I knew how it was going to end to some regard. And what I mean by some regard, I had seen like clips about the ending, and I was completely blown away, because in this anime adaptation they do something different that I won't spoil for anybody, but they do something different, and that something different made me absolutely bawl my eyes out in just how fantastic it was. And I think for all the Nier fans out there, we got much more than we anticipated. I think this is the definitive answer for people being like, oh, video game adaptations can be adapted to anime. Yes, they absolutely can, and you're wrong, because Nier Automata is telling you that you're wrong, because this anime adaptation is phenomenal. And to many, I think it's unanimously, most people agree that the anime did a much better job depicting the story than even the video game. So that just goes to show how amazing it was. So, but yeah, Nier Automata, just a masterpiece of a show, without a doubt. And I cannot recommend it enough. I think everybody should watch it. A2, my goat. I have a statue of her. You guys can't see it, but don't worry. My goat, A2. 2B, phenomenal character. Just a great cast of characters. And the story of revenge and, where it leads you, I thought it was great. Loved it from beginning to end. And yeah, that's, I'm just giving it its roses, no pun intended. But yeah, that was my list for the top 10 anime of 2024. And I want to ask the question now to you guys is, what do you guys think about my list? Did you guys agree with it? Is my list completely off? Is it, what is, and I also want to know, what was your guys' top 10 for the year? So let me know in the comment section down below. And, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, as well as a happy new year. But yeah, with all that being said, bye-bye.